Okay, so I'm going to show you how I do my water slides. I'm going to do it on a white water slide paper this time. So this is Cricut Design Space. These are all of my saved projects. The project that I'm working on right now is going to be a donut tumbler that I've done before, so I have it saved down here. And I'll show you how it looks on Design Space. Okay, so this is going to be my main quote. So for the O in donut, I'm going to use a donut. So this is going to be a little bit smaller than these in size, just because it needs to fit in between there. So there I have the smaller one, and then I have all of these donuts to go around the cup. So what I do when I have all of these donuts on here, I like to do a clear or a white background for my water slides, and a lot of the times I do it with my white. I always do it with my white, but a lot of times I also do it with my clear. So if I have a image that has detail, like these have sprinkles in them, I want the sprinkles to show. So I will do a white vinyl behind it. So these donuts are 1.24 inches. So the circles I do just a tiny bit smaller. These are a 1.22. So that way these donuts will sit on top of the white, and it will not show any of the white underneath. So you won't even know that that's there. So I just cut the amount of clear donuts as I have regular donuts. I did the same thing with this one. It's just a little bit smaller. So once you have it all done, you're going to go over to the green Make It up at the top. And it's going to sort your projects. It's going to sort them over here by your matte colors. So this is gray, but I'm really going to cut it out on white, and then my black image. So this is how it's going to look when you do your print to cut. It's always going to have this box, and that's how your Cricut's going to know where to cut. So you're just going to hit continue, and then when you need to send it to your printer, you hit send to printer. Make sure that you turn this add bleed off. This is always going to be checked on, but you always want it to be off. If you don't have it off, it's going to leave this crazy looking blur behind your image, and it will not look good. So always make sure that's clicked off. As soon as you go on it, it's just automatically on. Now, I already printed these, so I don't have to do any of that. So I'm going to go on to my next mat that I need. My next mat is going to be the donut Mess With My Vibe, the words. And the base is going to be premium vinyl. So I pick what base. These are all my favorites. I pick what the base is that I need. Now I am working on a maker. If you have anything lower than a maker, you have the dial. And that's when you're going to choose on the dial which you're going to use. My pressure, I'm just going to keep at default because I did just change my blade. So then it's just telling me that I need to have my fine point blade in my clamp and load my mat. So before I do that, I need to get it ready on my mat. So none of my mats are sticky because I've used them so much, and I need to clean them off. So I'm going to take this black vinyl, and I am going to just tape it to my mat. Let's see if I can show you how I do that. So it's not sticky at all, like at all. There's no stick. So I'm just going to tape this to my mat, just with some regular tape. Just so that I know it stays good, because if it's not sticky, it'll just move all over the place and just makes chicken scratch lines all over my vinyl and ruin a piece of vinyl and waste my time there. So I have it on there. So now I'm going to take it over to my Cricut. Let's see if I can get a video over here. Don't mind my total mess that I have going on. So here's my Cricut. I'm going to try to get this up here so you can see it. I'm going to weed it through. Push the blinking button. Push the cut button. And I'm going to allow it to cut. Okay, so while that is cutting, I will show you the water slides and stuff that I used. All right, so the water slide paper that I use is, this is what I use for white. I will be doing a video with the clear tomorrow. So I get this on Amazon. I hate it. I hate all white vinyl or white water slides. I think you should use clear for everything. But this is just to show you an example. So when they get cut with that box, you put it on your Cricut. It's gonna cut perfectly just like this. So you don't see any white behind it. Now, if these were a clear water slide, which normally I would use on this cup because it is a white background, I would just cut it out like this. And I would put this entire thing in white, everything behind it. I would put this entire image on my cup because it would be transparent and you wouldn't see through it. But since I don't have my clear water slide papers in yet, I'm using these. So then I showed you the donuts that I had already cut out, and I'm just gonna place those just randomly everywhere on the cup, and that's where I know I'm gonna put my water slides. As soon as this is done, which it is. Okay, so now I can weed out the words I need and I can stick them on. This cup is also gonna have a drip. So when I place the vinyl on, I need to make sure that I place it low enough that it's not going to interfere with my drip. And I will do a video on how to do the drip as well. All right, so I just cut it where need be. This is Oracle 651 vinyl. I get it at Michael's. I used to get it from 143vinyl.com, but they stopped using the Oracle 651, and that's pretty much the only vinyl I use. So I haven't gone back to check out their new vinyl. I know they have like a Star Craft or something like that. I haven't checked that out yet. All right, so here is the image that I'm going to be putting on the cup. So now, let's see if I can get this to hold this phone a little bit better. There we go. All right, so here's the image that I'm gonna be putting on this cup. I do have one of these handy things that my husband made me, that it's a cup holder so that when you're putting on decals, for the sake of this video, I'm not gonna use it because then you can't see it very well, because I'll have to stand and reposition all of my stuff. So instead of using transfer tape, I am going to use packing tape, and I just place it, I leave a little bit at the top, like the line or the words, so that I can see where I'm going to be going with my decal. This is just so I don't waste any of my transfer tape on something so simple, because transfer tape is a lot more expensive than packing tape is. So I use packing tape on a lot of my items. All right, so you just press it down really good, and then you pull it off. So your entire quote is on there. So you're gonna find where you want it. So I'm gonna have it, this one has a little bit of a divot right here. So I'm going to put it, since I am doing a drip, I'm gonna put it a little lower than I would normally put it. Usually I'd put it right about here, but I'm gonna go a little bit lower because I do have a drip coming down that I will be doing in a little bit. So I'm going to just place it as straight as I can. And when I do it, I just place it right here and I go down the middle first, and then I will go to the sides. And especially if there's like the divot down here, it's kind of hard to get it straight. So sometimes you have to peel off your tape and get most of your letters on there before you mess with the bottom. But I'll show you where it messed up and how you can fix it really easy. All right, so there is that. It says, do not mess with my vibe. All right, so the M, I don't know if you can see it. Give me 1 second to let my children inside. Joys of working when you have kids, right? So I don't know if you can see the M. Maybe if I turn it, there it got messed up because of the divot. So I am going to just take my little weeding tool here and I'm gonna go into the divot, pull it up very gently so it doesn't break the letter, and I'm gonna press it back down. Go let him in, please. Lexi, right now. So same thing with right here. Okay, this one actually might, well, no, maybe not. There we go. And then I'm just gonna press it down a bit. Okay, so all of my letters are pressed down. So once they're all down and they feel good, now I'm gonna start doing the water slide pieces. So, like I showed you in the beginning, guys, I need you to go in your room right now. I'm doing a tutorial. Lexi, now. Sorry, my daughter's very emotional and I don't know why. So this is the smaller donut that I have out of the rest of them. Like I showed you before, I did a small one so that I could put it on top. This is gonna go here. So I'm gonna find my small one. Just gonna take it off with my finger. I'm gonna place it where I want it. Press it down and voila, that's where the O is gonna go for my donut. So then the rest of the cup is just gonna have donuts all around it. So I'm just gonna take all of these with my fingers and I'm just gonna randomly place them, keeping in mind that I am doing a drip, so I do need to keep them off of the top. So I'm just gonna place them randomly all over the cup. If I need to cut out more, I always can. I cut out a few less than I had on there originally because I didn't think I would need as many as I had. But I might have actually needed as many as I had on there. Maybe not. So I've got 4 left. And we're just gonna place them all over. Okay, now my last one. Isaiah, please take that toy in your room. Alright, the last one I will place, if I think it looks pretty decent all around, which I think it does, I think I'm gonna put this one on the bottom. No, I'm actually gonna put my logo on the bottom. So I'll just stick it. Maybe I won't. I'll put it on the bottom. I have logos I put on most of my cups. This one I won't since I did put a donut there. Okay, so everywhere that there's a white circle, that's where my donuts are gonna go. So now to apply the water slides. I have this little container that's full of water that I always keep at my desk. That's always full of water for my water slides. So I also have one of these silicone makeup brushes that I got from Dollar Tree. And it comes in handy for my water slide applications. So we'll start with this one for the O. No, that's the smaller one. So what you're gonna do after you seal this 3 times with your sealant spray, which I don't remember if I told you to do. So after you cut these out, you have to spray it 3 times with your clear sealant. Letting it dry in between each time. These ones I already sprayed 3 times. That's gonna go for the white and the clear, no matter what you're gonna spray them. If I said that already, I'm sorry. If I didn't, I'm sorry. So you're just gonna stick it in your water. Just let it stay in there, usually about 30 to 45 seconds. Sometimes for smaller images, it doesn't take as long, but I'm just gonna throw a few of them in there. When you're first starting out, I would probably just start with one just in case you need to like readjust. If you leave it in there for too long, it might fall off the paper, then it can just be a mess. So stick them in there. Now, for something small like this, I just wet my applicator and I wet the vinyl where it needs to go. I also usually keep a napkin over here so that I can pat it dry, but that's something I don't have, but I will show you how to do. So you're just gonna leave them in there, let them soak for a few seconds, wait for them to be done. So when you check on them, make sure I'm grabbing the smallest one. When you check on them, you're gonna just pull it out of the water and you're gonna move it off of the, try to move it around and see if it'll move. So this one, see how it's wrinkling up a little bit? I don't know how well you can see it. So see how it's moving? That's how you want it to be. Now with white water slides, I shouldn't just say with white, with all the water slides that you cut with your Cricut, it'll be harder to get it to come off of the paper because it's not just cut freehand. It was cut very like, I don't know how to describe it, with a super sharp something, so it was able to cut it like perfectly. So I always find that it's harder. So when you leave it in there for a while, and then you like go like this in your fingers, it will eventually start to loosen up. And then you also want to be very careful because that's how you can rip them. With clear water slides, this is not as difficult. So I, again, will show you that tomorrow, how easy it is compared to the other ones. Now it's going to be stuck up here a little bit, so I'm going to kind of just pull it off, and it came off pretty well. So you're going to wait until it's slippery like this, and you can slide it all over your backing. So then when it's like that, again, make sure that this is wet. You're gonna take it, you're gonna put it right up on it, and all you're gonna do is you're gonna very gently hold the top while you pull away the backing on the bottom. So just slide it up, get it where you have the backing, and then you can just pull away the backing. So it's gonna look kind of wrinkly when you first pull it off. And then all you're gonna do is you're gonna just use your fingers, or you can use a wet paper towel and move it around to where you need it, where you can't see any of your background. I like to get my applicator wet again, hold on to it, and then go like this around. So you're getting all of the water out from between the vinyl and the water slide itself, which is something very important. You don't want the epoxy going on a wet water slide. So then at this point you could take a paper towel and pat it dry, but otherwise I think it looks pretty good right there. So then we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing around the whole cup. We're gonna wet it really well. I'm gonna go ahead and stick the rest of mine in there. And you're gonna check it, see if you can see. When I'm doing it, it's a little bit hard, and it's because of the way it was cut on the Cricut. It makes it harder to come off. But we don't run into this issue with clear water slides. So I don't know if it's just the way it was cut, or if it's just because white water slides are a pain, or what. So as you can see, this one, it broke off the top right there. So that does not happen with clear. Again, why I like to use clear so much. Same thing, you're gonna slide it on there. This one's not wanting to come off. If they don't want to come off, you can always just peel them off. It's stuck right around the edge. So it looks all crazy and wrinkly, but once you get it on there and wet it down again, then it's gonna look a lot better. So then again, go around it, and then it looks like that. You can see the white underneath of it a little bit, but that's not too big of a deal. So same thing, wet the area. Now this one moved a lot easier, but it's still a little stuck along the rim. There we go. So that's how easy they're supposed to come off, except for right there, it's stuck. There we go. So that's how easy it's supposed to come off. That's how it's supposed to be when you're ready to apply it. So you just go like that, straighten it out either with your finger or with a damp cloth, and then squeegee out all your water that's underneath. And there's that one. And I should note that if you have a laser jet printer, you do not have to seal your water slides. So that's another thing you want to really check on. If you have a laser printer, do not seal. So you want to make sure that you get laser printer water slide paper instead of the, go in your room and leave her alone, instead of the inkjet printer paper. So only seal if you have an inkjet. And if you're buying your water slides, you need to put a coat on.
Is that cold out?
You need to put a coat on, please. If you're buying your water slides, make sure that you either pay close attention to what you're buying. If you're buying an inkjet, if you're buying a laser printed, and then if you are buying an inkjet, did they seal it for you? I sell my water slides on Etsy and I seal them all for my customers, but some places do not seal them. So that is something you want to check. All right. I try not to get too many like colors right next to each other. Isaiah, you need to put that on before you go out there. And then I forgot to wet this one. So then you wet it and you just stick it on. And then you squeegee out all the water.
Could you take these off? Because
No.
they always get wet in the muddy puddle.
Just don't go in muddy puddles, and you need to go before I show Daddy.
What?
All right, so wet it.
Daddy?
Check it like so. Make sure it's ready to come off.
Hey, there, now it's on.
And slide it on there. Sorry, when you're watching my videos, you're always going to hear my kids. I have 3, 10, 5, and 4. And then if you count my husband, who's 30, he's also a child sometimes. But yes, you will hear them. My daughter likes to cry because I yell at her when I ask her to let her brother inside. So yeah, sorry. You'll get lots of kid distractions. This is what I do from home while my husband works, and no school means I get my kids 24/7 with no time to work. So now I'm getting a little crazy with these ones just because I obviously have worked with water slides so much before, and white water slides are the devil in my opinion. So I just kind of throw it on there. You'll get the hang of it, but once you see my clear water slide video, you will understand why you always want to use clear. And you don't want to touch them when they're still wet. You need to go play, please.
I want some candy.
Not right now. All right, so I touched all of these while they were still wet. So they all came off. So I will go slowly around and fix them all. Once they dry, they're like stuck. They won't come off. So you just have to be careful when you're sticking them. All right, so we got 2 more. Well, that one came off really nice compared to the rest. I'm gonna stick that one on the bottom. Just gonna stick it there because I forgot to wet it. And slide her off. And then position it in the right way. And then wet it. Slide it off. Which again, that one slid off a lot nicer than they normally do. And stick it on. And that is how easy it is to apply your water slides. Whoop, I don't want to mess that one up. So this cup is ready for the drip once it dries. So I'm just gonna let it hang out upside down so that I don't mess up the one on the bottom. And this is your time to go through, make sure that everything is positioned to where you want it to be positioned. All the wrinkles are out of them. If you need to re-wet, you can re-wet and reposition if they're stuck on there already. You can take a paper towel that's wet and you can take it off and reposition it as well. They're very, very repositionable even after they dry, as long as you get them wet. Water will be your best friend when it comes to water slides. So for my cup, I think this is good. So I am done with my water slides. I let these completely dry. So if I was just going to epoxy this and not do my drip, I would let it dry for probably a half hour to 45 minutes before I did my epoxy. I know a lot of people let their water slides dry overnight. I don't wait that long, and I've never had a problem with them coming up. The only time I've ever had a problem was with a pop socket when I did a water slide. And that was because I didn't squeegee out the water well enough. So that is that one. So that's white water slides. Tomorrow I will try to do my clear water slides. It'll be tomorrow or Tuesday. Probably tomorrow that I do my clear water slide. I'm doing the other one of these. All right, so there is that. So in a few minutes I will be coming back to do my drip on this cup.